This year is Beethoven's 250th birthday, and to celebrate, two Chinese musicians, brother and sister Rosalind and Kemin and Zhang, mobilized musicians in China and the United States for a very special performance on Zoom. I'm James Chau, and this is Beethoven, US-China style, in lockdown in 2020.
Beginning of lockdown and stuff, it was kind of common for people to just reach out and be like, hey, how's it going? And so when he came up with this idea, it kind of just happened organically. We just sent a WeChat message, Facebook message to our friends from all over the world, people that we've kind of collected in our network over the years, basically.
I watched the Zoom recording. It's incredible. Where did you draw these musicians from, your friends?
Current position leaders in the LA Phil, for example, New York Philharmonic, Minnesota, Baltimore Symphony Orchestras, and also orchestras in China like the National Symphony, National Center for Performing Arts Orchestra, and Opera Orchestra as well.
So East meets West, people from all over the world actually joined in.
This recording not only celebrated Beethoven, but your grandfather, Li Delun, who is the father also of classical music in China. Tell us more about that part.
Grandpa has a classic recording of the Fifth Symphony, which we still listen to, maybe not so often, but because of this special celebration, we dug it up.
Yeah.
You want to show them the tapes?
They happen to be on these cassette tapes, and I mean, I don't know how many people still have cassette players at home, but because we don't throw anything out in this household, we luckily still had this ability to play it. And because they come in the set of all 9 symphonies, I took out the one for the 5th, I put on the player, and I recorded it on my iPad just with a voice recorder note and sent it out to my friends.
But there's something else as well, which I think had to do with the baton that was used by your conductor on the Zoom recording.
Yeah, our conductor is Mr. James Chau, who is currently the principal conductor of the China National Symphony. After Grandpa passed away, they had an event to pass down the baton, quite literally, to the next conductor. And Li Chao is one of his favorite students.
The Beethoven Fifth is special not only to your family, it's special to millions of people right around the world, but it does hold this special place in the body of work that your grandfather achieved over the years, not only in 1983, but I think even earlier than that.
In 1977, there was an event in China where he organized the orchestra to perform it for the first time since the Cultural Revolution. Because for a long time in China, classical music, Western music in general, was banned. They were not allowed to even practice anything written by a classical composer. He secretly orchestrated everyone to rehearse the Symphony No. 5, and then he asked the authorities, it's an important day for Beethoven, it's the 150th anniversary, and for the longest time he did not get approvals. So everybody thought this concert on this day was going to be a bunch of Chinese music, and nobody really cared until the day before the actual concert. Finally, he got approvals for, you can perform Beethoven.
In 1977, not a lot of people in China would have had access to a television, which is probably why this recording was broadcast on radio. Millions of people, hundreds of millions of people had access to that. Hearing the strains of Beethoven coming out of their radio boxes, what do you think that did for their mind?
I know for a fact that I heard from some uncles, they thought it was a mistake. They thought the radio somehow got hijacked by the enemies, and it was foreign spies tapping into our system. And wow, how come there's now Western music? But then after they realized it's actually China, and it's China's own symphony orchestra playing it.
We're living through the biggest threat to humanity in modern peacetime history. This global pandemic has brought us to our knees and put us in this permanent state of grief and mourning. What do you think music has to offer at this time?
But I take comfort in the fact that the composers who wrote this kind of music probably went through pretty tumultuous times in their lifetimes as well. And in fact, it was these great, giant events that affected their lives that prompted them to create art for us.
And getting our friends together to play, and it's almost like having a focus on a project where we're creating beauty together. And it helps us kind of forget about all the bad news on TV. It's kind of a virtual musical hug, if you will. So while most things we do in life is about how we survive, how we live, music is one of the few things in humanity that is about why.
I am James Chau. You're watching The China Current. Follow us on social media @The China Current.